Hey guys, what is up? DigiTheMan here, back in another video. And today's video is going to be my review of Volume 2 of Attack on Titan Before the Fall. And before I continue, I'm just going to be assuming that you've either read the first manga or you've at least seen my first review. So this is going to be completely spoil-filled of the first manga, and I'm not going to be holding back when it comes to the second manga here too. So this is going to be a full review, so let's go ahead and get started. So this volume of Before the Fall covers chapters 4 through 7, and starting with chapter 4 is the escape. If you remember in the last volume, Kukolo and Shirley came up with an idea to go ahead and escape because Shirley's probably going to be sold off to some rich person just for business purposes, and then Kukolo's probably going to be either sold off or killed because, you know, Zavi's going to be going into the military, which is Shirley's brother, and Zavi, if Zavi's going off into the military, they don't really need to have Kukolo around for Zavi to beat on, so they're either going to sell him or kill him. So Shirley and Kukolo decide that they want to go ahead and escape with each other. So it's the night of the escape, and Kukolo is waiting for Shirley to come down to his cell and free him so they can run off with each other. But while Kukolo was waiting, this dark figure comes out of nowhere, and Kukolo's wondering to himself, who is this guy? Is this guy here to like buy me? Is Dario, the guy, Sherry's father, already trying to sell me off? And he sees that this dark figure is actually a Titan worshiper. And this Titan worshiper says that we are here to rescue you. And Kukolo's like, we? And then he looks at the Titan worshiper's sword and sees that there's blood on it. That means, you know, there's multiple Titan worshipers are here that are storming this mansion, I guess, and fighting off all the guards and stuff. And Kukolo's like, wait a second, if these guys are storming the castle and junk, that means they're probably going to be attacking like Shirley and junk. So he's like, oh no. So as soon as this Titan worshiper guy lets him out of his cell, Kukolo runs right past them and starts searching the mansion to see if he can find Shirley. So as Kukolo was searching this mansion-like place for Shirley, he runs into Dario, who has been killed by one of the Titan worshippers, and that's when he runs into Shirley and her brother Zavi, who are being surrounded by these Titan worshipper people. Zavi goes in to save Shirley by knocking all these Titan worshippers to the ground, and that's when Zavi proceeds to kill these guys. And then Zavi's like, this is all your fault, Kukolo. That's why they're attacking this mansion, is because of Kukolo, and that's why Zavi is blaming him. And that's when what Zavi does is that he takes his sword and like slashes at Kukolo, and he gets his eye, and that's when Kukolo like gets Zavi and like knocks him out and he falls to the ground, and that's when Shirley and Kukolo run off with each other. So Kukolo and Shirley end up finding their way into the city, and this is starting chapter 5. Sorry, I forgot to iterate that. But yeah, Shirley and Kukolo find their way into the city and end up living with this older couple, I believe, that just wants to help them out. I'm pretty sure the older couple doesn't know their situation. They're just really nice. You know, the story doesn't really explain how they ended up moving with these people very well. It just kind of happens. Oh, and I forgot to mention, at the end of chapter 4, we see a character that we haven't seen since the first chapter, and that is a character named Carlo. And Carlo is one of the Survey Corps members that was there when Kukolo was born. And we see that Carlo has been out of the military for a few years, or been out of the Survey Corps for a few years, but now he's joining back up with them, and they're about to go on their first expedition in like 15 years or so. So now back to Kukolo and Shirley. So what Kukolo wants to do now that he's escaped and now that he's free is that he really wants to go to the outside of the wall to see a Titan, to see why people associate him with a Titan. You know, if you remember, people call Kukolo the Titan son, so he really wants, and he hasn't even seen a Titan before, so he really wants to go to the outside of the wall to see what one is like. And this just happens to be Kukolo's lucky break because the Survey Corps are just about to go on their first expedition in like 15 years to the outside of the wall. And so what Kukolo ends up doing is that he ends up saying bye to Shirley for now. He's like, I'll be back, Shirley. I just want to go to the outside of the wall and see what the Titan's like. So what Kukolo ends up doing is that he ends up sneaking into the Survey Corps supply wagon, ends up hiding in the wagon so they can take him to the outside of the wall so he can see a Titan. And that is the end of chapter 5. So in chapter 6, the Survey Corps end up going to the outside of the wall. Of course, with Kukolo hiding within the supplies. And of course, the person that is leading this expedition is Carlo, which again is the guy that was there when Kukolo was born. So they've been outside the wall for a couple of hours, and Kukolo's getting kind of restless because they haven't run into a Titan yet, and Kukolo really wants to see a Titan. So while he's hiding in the supplies, he finds like a flare gun and shoots off the flare gun and makes a big explosion, and that's when the Survey Corps find him hiding in the wagon and drag him out, and that's when they start questioning him, you know, mainly Carlo. Start questioning him like, why did you get into the supply wagon? And he's like, I wanted to see a Titan. It's like, Really? And then Carlo's like, we're in no obligation to fulfill that request of helping you see a Titan. And that's when Kuklo starts hearing something. He starts hearing footsteps, and he's like, it's a Titan. And Carlo's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, and Kuklo's like, it's coming from, I can hear it, it's coming from like that direction. And that's when Carlo like takes his freaking binoculars and looks in that said direction, and he's like, oh snap, it's a Titan. And that's when, and that's, as it gets closer, that's when Kuklo finally gets to see a Titan for the first time. And that's when he is absolutely overwhelmed with kind of sort of happiness. He's like, thank goodness I'm not a Titan, I'm actually human. But of course that happiness is soonly turned into fear because, you know, the whole Cerberus Corps is like, we gotta get out of here, get back to the wall, because at this point in time, they don't have 3D maneuver gear, because if you remember, this takes place like 70 years in the past when they don't have that technology. So they're like, run away! And that was the end of Chapter 6, with them running away from this Titan. And then, of course, Chapter 7 opens up with them, you know, running away from this Titan. They're trying to escape from this Titan. This Titan's like right on their tail, and they're trying to escape, but it's no use. The Titan catches up and like flips one of the wagons, and that's when the Cerberus Corps has no choice but to try to fight off this Titan with just their horses and their swords. It's like, oh no, this is gonna go bad. And that's when the Titan gets a hold of Kuklo, and the Titan is just about to eat Kuklo, and Kuklo is about to give up on everything. And that's when Kuklo remembers that Shirley actually gave him a knife, which is what Shirley considers her good luck charm. She gave him this knife before he left to go and hide, so he can escape, so he can go see what's on the outside of the wall with the Cerberus Corps. So he pulls out this knife and like stabs the Titan right in the eye, and that's when the manga ends. And it's like, what? No cliffhangers for you. No, that is bad. Don't do that to me. Not now. No. So I am extremely pumped for Volume 3, which has been out since I think December, and I think the Volume 4 is going to be coming out in March. So I am extremely excited to read the next volume. So I will give this volume I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it this time around. You know, just can't wait to get to the next volume. So if you guys like the video, like the video. And if you like me, subscribe to me. And as always, this is DJsman, and I'll catch y'all next time.